with us, we have Roger Williams from the OSU Extension Show here on INTV. And Roger, I love watching your show. I always pick up some wonderful tips on all the gardening that I don't do, but I really enjoy it. I wish I had the time. How did you get into this?
Well, first off, thank you very much for the compliment. And we try to kind of tell enough things and be enough interesting that people can get something out of it. I was kind of born into extension because my father was an area agronomist that covered southwest Oklahoma. So in 1968, he left Oklahoma State University, Stillwater, and was still working with the university, but we moved to Cordell. And I grew up in Cordell and graduated high school there, went to Tonkawa Junior College, and then moved to Stillwater, finished my degree up there, and then went to work for a large ranch in North Texas called the Wagner Ranch. Was managing a 27,000 acre farmland there.
Wow.
And we had 27,000 acres of cultivated acres. And so anyway, they're in the process of splitting that ranch up, and the owners are fighting, and eventually I found myself without a job and came back to extension. So came here in January of 1999 and been here a little over 10 years now.
And what do you do with the OSU Extension except for your time on INTV? You just go around and you help people with their problems, or? Well,
a little bit of everything. And the calls that we get are so diverse, it's just unbelievable. You know, I read in all the deals, for more information, contact your county extension service. And I'm like, I'm reading this for information myself, you know, but everything says that. So the extension service is kind of people's everywhere call for everything that they got problems with. And somehow we try to get an answer to them. I only had one thing where I couldn't really get them an answer, and a lady called because a skunk had sprayed at her dog and missed and hit her house. And she wanted to know how to get that skunk spray off of her siding. So I did my best. I called Lowe's, and they gave me the people that supplied them with the siding, and I never could get the siding people to call me back. But I called her and told her, this is your siding company, and so I don't know what happened
so
there.
So you're just the go-to guy. If you've got a question, call Roger.
Well, the extension service, all sides of it, are really proud of the fact that we're independent. You know, we don't have to have any sponsors that we're trying to push their product or anything like that, and it's all research based. So they know that they can come there and get information that has been researched, that is totally unbiased, and that's a good thing these days.
Well, we're getting ready to have Stephanie on with the farmers market here, and what is your involvement with that?
Well, I've been out to it several times and bought some stuff. They do a real good job, and you know, have really kept it flea market free. You know, there's just stuff out there that you can buy and take home, and you know that it's grown local and all that. And earlier this year, the home economist in our office, Heather Wynn, was out and judged a contest with her, and she wanted me to come out and kind of be support. But I've been out here several times. It's just a nice place to be on a nice Saturday morning.
And it seems to be growing and really starting to catch on fire. And, you know, I might even be inclined to grow a few tomatoes myself. And while we're winding down on the gardening season, even though there is fall gardens out, what can we do right now if we want to start a spring garden as far as composting? Is it too late to start composting, or is it just the perfect time?
You know, if you've got something to compost, it's a good time to compost. You know, people used to catch their grass. You can put leaves in a compost pile, so that would be a good reason to start now, because here in another couple of months there's going to be lots of leaves around.
Yeah.
If people are starting a garden or wanting to start a garden next year, probably the biggest thing they need to do is get that spot located and figure out what kind of perennial weeds they're going to have in their garden. Because the biggest one that I'm talking about is Bermuda grass, and if you go out there, now's the time of year to spray it with Roundup. And if you're going to try to be organic, well, you got a big road ahead of you. You better get started this winter. Also, if someone is already gardening, one of the biggest mistakes that people make is not taking their garden out in the fall. They like to just leave everything, leave the plants, and let them just sit there, and then next spring they'll get with it. Well, the whole time those leaves have fallen on the ground. They've been diseased. That's the perfect place for the fungus to overwinter. Next year they plant that little plant in the ground and those fungus just attack it, and then they're calling my office wondering what they can do. So, you know, to be a little proactive.
Preventative, yes.
Take your garden out, till it. If you're gonna plant a winter crop like wheat or something like that, get it planted and growing good. Otherwise, till your garden every time it's dry enough to do it between rains.
Now you have something coming up at the library that's going to be informative just on this very subject. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
It's a program pretty much going into depth on that. And by going into depth, I mean, you know, people say rotate your crops, and nobody ever says, well, this is what you rotate to and don't rotate to. So if you plant tomatoes and you rotate to potatoes, you haven't done yourself any good. So we're going to kind of cover that, going to just kind of remind people things to do and answer a lot of questions. Last time I spoke there, why there were a whole lot of questions, and you know, that's good because that's what people want to know. Every time I say something, I wonder if somebody really wants to hear it or if it's just fodder. So September 15th.
Well, thank you so much, and I'm sure that will be very informative, and maybe we'll see you here at the Farmers Market on Saturday.
Oh,
and
definitely.
Thank you for the good job you do on the OSU Extension Show, which, by the way, you can watch on INTV on several different times. And also, if you want to go to the internet, www.intv.me, and you can watch the OSU Extension Show with Roger Williams. We'll be right back.